We'll start with Connor.
Morning, Coach. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. On the leaping penalty last week, there was some conversation about how it looked like Desmond maybe leaped in the gap instead of directly over one of the linemen there. Did you get any clarification from the conference, or when you watched that play, how did you see that? And just putting a bow on that play. Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, we have pretty extensive conversations with not only the conference, but just the kind of national rules people on that. Good conversations. Honestly, the feedback was, to be honest, a little bit inconclusive. There's definitely some gray area there. I think it kind of centers around, what you said, Connor. Did he get through a gap? You can look at it, see the two, the lineman and the snapper kind of separate, and there's clearly a gap in there. And then the question is like, you know, what is a gap in that moment when two guys are kind of joined together, but they're kind of leaning a different way? Because he clearly gets through without going over people, which is kind of the intent of the rule. Um, you understand like that could have went both ways, and I think had it not been called, they would have like you could have justified it either way. And so we've had more, egregious ones that have been missed that were just clearly missed. This one was one of those ones that just comes up every once in a blue moon, and then all of a sudden, it sparks some. It's such a important play. I mean, you could argue we maybe haven't had as that important of a play all year, and so yeah, it's gonna spark some discussion, and I would be actually surprised if that doesn't spark a rule change or amendment to how that rule's written.
Haley.
Good morning. It seems like a lot of college football right now is trying to balance like progress with tradition. And obviously, this game coming up this weekend is rife with tradition. So, how does this weekend kind of give you an opportunity to like lean into that side of college football in this day and age?
Yeah, it's important, Haley. I mean, I think it is. I mean, college football's gone through a huge transition, and in some ways still kind of going through it. Some of those have been preserved across the country, some of those have not, and the ones that we're fortunate that this rivalry, with us both being here in town, with us both being, in the Big Ten Conference, being conference opponents and not just rivals, I mean, has a chance to continue. And so, I mean, I think as these conferences are put together, I think that's still a huge part of it. And yeah, I mean, it's a way to highlight it. I mean, there's still so many great rivalry games across the country, most of them here happening this week, and ours continues to be. Ours with UCLA continues to be one of the most unique ones out there. And so, yeah, very thankful that we're still able to play this game. And I know it means a lot to a lot of people in this area, and certainly does to both schools as well. So excited to be back in one.
I think I saw UCLA put together like a video for the team to watch to kind of educate them about this rivalry. I know you like to keep things within the team, but are you making any efforts like that with your guys?
Always do with rivalry games. Yeah, I never take that for granted. The different ones that I've been in, I want to make sure that our guys understand the history behind it, the importance behind it, the fact that, how long this game has been played, all the significant matchups through the years, and that they get a chance to be a part of it. Because I never want a guy to, down the line in his career, maybe he didn't quite understand what it was or what it meant in the moment. And I want our team to understand and appreciate that. So yes, we do quite a bit to educate our guys, not just the week of. That's something that is, I think, when you come to SC, you need to understand all of our traditions and why we do what we do and what the history is here. And certainly this game is a big part of that.
I think this is Ryan Karchi.
Yep, thanks. Hey, Lincoln, hope you had a nice Thanksgiving.
You as well.
Um, we talked to Dan earlier this week, and he mentioned just kind of the challenges of, or the different challenges, I guess, of coaching this defense this year, just given maybe it was a little bit more inexperienced than the one he had led last year. I guess he said that had made him a better teacher, he thought. I guess I wonder how you thought he's kind of responded to that challenge this year, and maybe what you saw this year that maybe gives you hope for the future going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've continued to improve, and that's the number one thing that I look at, and we've continued to do that, and especially have played some really good games here as of late in the second half, and that is those are some huge steps. I think we've been able to withstand. Obviously, some key injuries or guys being out specifically in the secondary. I mean, the secondary, whether it's the, corners kind of earlier in the year, or certainly the safeties here as of late has been a little bit of a revolving door, all year. And we've been able to largely withstand that. And I do, I feel some of that. I mean, we had a pretty experienced secondary last year that was able to stay pretty healthy, and so this group's been a little bit different that way. We're a young defense in a lot of ways, especially the guys we've been playing here as of late. A lot of young players in some really, really key positions that have just grown and gotten better and better. And but that always does as a coach. It always challenges you when you've got new guys that all of a sudden are in these big moments, and you've got to get them ready. You've got to understand that their experience level may not be the same as the guy that you coached before, and how do you, find that balance between getting them ready and teaching them enough, but not overdoing it, to where it's too much for them to handle this early on in their careers, and then trying to piece all that together. So, no, I know it's been a fun challenge, and I think the excitement again is the improvement, specifically in how we've played in the second half of some of these games, and then how many young, impactful players are on this defense that are getting so much great experience, and a lot of them are stepping up, making big plays for us, and they're going to be kind of the future cornerstones of our defense going forward.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Ryan Dyrud.
Hey, Coach, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good, Ryan. It was good. Thank you. Hope yours was as well.
Good, yeah, excellent. Appreciate it. Got more of a kind of philosophical question for you. When it comes to, a disciplined football team, I think a lot on the outside, and especially fans watching during the game, they kind of view that as, a player getting taken off the field, maybe chewed out on the sidelines, sitting plays. What is your kind of philosophy, and how do you coach discipline? Maybe that might be different from others.
I mean, I think it depends on, there's certainly it depends on the scenario. I mean, certainly. We've been pretty aggressive with guys in terms of, guys, especially guys that are a repeat offender, in terms of an undisciplined play, in terms of taking their playing time away. I mean, that's still the number one thing that always speaks to players more than anything. There is certainly a fine line, and I know you guys have heard me comment many times that typically the least penalized teams in the country typically aren't very good, if you historically look at that. But I think, your ability to do that, to not have, what we call intolerable penalties in those big moments is a huge part of playing great football. It's something that we largely have done pretty well this year. We obviously last week did not do a good job of that, and that definitely hurt us. That's a battle that we had been winning in the previous weeks. It's something that we talk to our teams about competitively versus the team we face, of who has more intolerable penalties. And that's a huge, huge battle for us. And we've been largely successful on it, but we didn't have, again, not relative to our opponent, but we didn't have the type of game the other day that we wanted from that. And so, including a few guys that really haven't been repeat offenders, or haven't been guys that it's shown up with, up to this point. So, no, we're aggressive about it. We've got a standard, just like if it's executing a play, just like if it's, showing up to team walkthrough on time, going to class. I mean, it's like it's all the same to us, and so we're very consistent in our approach about that and what we demand, and we're aggressive with these guys when they don't meet our standard. It's not meant to be comfortable.
Thanks, Coach.
Mhm.
Mark.
Hey, Coach. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving and no one ruined your stuffing with raisins. Uh, I want to go back to Ryan Carchi's question because he kind of took it, and I want to see if I can maybe come at it from a different angle. When Coach Lynn is talking about developing younger players, and you talked about it at certain stages, there's no chart where you can check it off and say, all right, well, this player's no longer young. They've been in the system for a couple of years. How do you define when a player is still young, they're still learning? Where is that dividing line? And again, I know there's no definitive
Yeah.
answer.
No, it's a good question. I mean, I think, Yeah, I mean, I think you look at a couple things. I think you look relative to how long they've been with you or in your system. I think you look into like relative, like how long have they been in college football? You take an Akili or an Easton from last year. Yes, it was their first year with us. Those guys have played a lot of football. Bishop this year is a phenomenal example of that. I mean, a little inexperience in our system to start the year, but obviously when you've played that much football, um, he was able to close that gap pretty quickly, and that's what you bank on. Now, for us going forward, and it gets back to some of the big picture conversations that we've all had with you guys, and obviously it's been a huge part of our strategy internally is getting a little bit further and further away from the portal, getting more towards developing all as much as we can in-house and kind of raising these guys up that way. And, because all of a sudden you're going to look up here, it's not going to be very long and the Jadays of the world, the Cam Crawfords, the Jakeems, the Floyds, the Des Stevenses, the Jaden Walkers, like all of a sudden, like these guys, the Christian Pierces, I mean, like we're going to look up and it's going to be like we're going to have a big nucleus of guys that have played a lot of football. And not only have they played a lot of football, they've played a lot of football here at USC in this program under the system. And when you really get good, you typically have a pretty big contingent of guys that fit into that. And then and that's what we're building towards. And I think once that really starts happening, then it should turn over faster, right? It should be less rebuild years and more just like reload with guys that you've been bringing up that way. And then, yeah, a freshman here or there is ready to play, and you go grab a guy here and there out of the portal to supplement it, but it's largely that nucleus of guys that have been here. And that's what we envision and that's what we're building towards. And I think, whether it's the improvement this year or looking forward to the future, I mean, I think that's where, the answer to Ryan's question about the optimism and excitement about what's building, specifically on the defensive side of the ball certainly exists.
Thanks, Coach.
Mhm.
We'll wrap it up with Connor.
Thank you. I know at end of the year, not everyone's 100%. Has anyone been ruled out for Saturday, Coach, or will you let the availability report speak to that? Thank you.
Yeah, the only guys, Elijah Page won't. He went ahead. We went ahead and got a procedure done this week on him to get him shut down for the year, and then with an eye towards getting him ready for the off season. And then Killian certainly won't be ready. We'll end up doing. He hasn't had a procedure yet, but he'll end up doing virtually the same thing here pretty quickly. So. I don't think I'm missing anybody else that's obvious. All the other guys are, progressing, kind of working towards hopefully having as many guys available in this game as we possibly can.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. And before we close, it's time for Conquest Command, a question from the front lines of the Trojan Army. Our question this week is from Matthew Gregory. You can follow him on X and on Instagram at Matty_Gregory. Coach Riley, how will the new facilities aid in your development of this football program?
Well, thanks for the question. Yeah, it'll change or enhance every single thing that we do in this program. We can't wait to get in. We'll be probably sometime right after spring ball, but certainly before the season. Maybe kind of early summer is kind of what it's looking like right now. And so, preparations are certainly already ongoing for that transition. And yeah, I mean, I think, the physical development of our players, the recovery, all the different modes now that you can really recover these guys, all the sports science, the game prep, the nutrition. I mean, just literally every single part of their experience from the day that they walk in the door, both for them and for the staff, is going to be wildly different. And that's what this facility has been designed to do. I mean, it's two things. It's honor the history of our great football program, and then it is optimizing everything that we do on a daily basis to make it as good as anywhere in the country. And I believe with what we're building, like we are accomplishing that. And so yeah, it's exciting. We had a chance to walk through the previous bye week. We had a chance to take some of us through for some of the staff. It was the first time they'd ever been in there. For myself, it was just the second time I had actually ever got a chance to actually go in, because obviously it's an active construction zone, but it is mind blowing what we're going to be able to do in that place. The advantages it's going to bring, just a total game changer in every way.
Thank you, Coach Riley. Thank you, media. We will see you at the Coliseum on Saturday.
All right. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.